YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I've got a huge pickup here. This is probably the largest pickup that I've ever done. Now I paid a pretty penny for this, but it's definitely worth every single cent that I put into it. This is all the stuff that I got recently. A student actually in my class, because I'm a school teacher by the way, in case you weren't aware of that, a student in my class said that their family member basically had a bunch of stuff that they were getting rid of, and if they wanted they would contact me and we could see what we could work out basically, and it ended up working out. So I picked this stuff up today and really happy to get these things, and obviously, you know, not like from a Kijiji thing or people trying to scam. This person was a collector and looks like they're moving or going to be moving soon and didn't really want to drag this stuff along with them, so they basically gave me a killer deal on it, I think, and definitely some amazing items I didn't have in my collection already. I'm gonna get started on this right now. I really don't want to talk too much about it because there's so many things to show you here. It's fairly epic, I'd say, in scope. So I'll get started, like I said, right now. The first thing I'm going to show you is kind of like a little bit of a preview to some of the stuff that's going to be in here that you'll see for different systems, but these were actually given to me at the end of the transaction. He basically just handed me these titles and said they didn't work, so if I could get them working or resurface things or whatnot, then I could kind of go at it. The first one here I actually cleaned up and tried to test on the Retron 5, and he's right, it doesn't work. It says that there's no card inserted, even though, or cartridge inserted even when it is inserted, so I'm gonna have to look into this a little bit and see if I can figure out how to fix it, because it's in really mint shape and it's something I don't have in my collection, so I'd love to be able to get this title in there. But it's Earthworm Jim 2. And I mean, the contacts, I cleaned them, they're perfect and everything like that. I opened it up inside, there doesn't look to be any damage to it whatsoever. The cartridge itself is just in pristine condition, like amazing condition, so I don't really know what this went through for that to happen, but basically systems will not read this game. So if you guys know how to fix something like that, I'd be really greatly appreciating the feedback or suggestions or whatever, because I'd love to fix this game up and add it to my collection because it is in such great shape. Worst comes to worst though, maybe I can find like a really beat up copy of it, and which board still works in or whatever, and I can use this because it is absolutely mint. So that was a cool throw in, even though it didn't work. Same with this title here, it's Virtual Tennis, missing its cover and all that kind of stuff, so it's not really in the world's greatest shape, and I'm gonna have to re-case these or whatever, because this one here particularly is falling apart, but it's in pretty rough shape, and like he said, this one doesn't play, so I'll have to test it out, see if I can get it to work, but if not, I'm just going to chuck that one through the resurfacer and see how it turns out. He said the same thing for this title here, which is Rippin' Riders for the Dreamcast. Again, like I said, it's a throw-in. A lot of the Dreamcast stuff that you're going to be seeing today actually have this Blockbuster sticker on it. This one here looks like it was resurfaced really poorly, so hopefully I can do something about that. And I've had discs where I've resurfaced them and they didn't end up working, and then I've gone back and actually resurfaced them again and they ended up working, so that just happened to me the other day. So hopefully I can get these disc-based ones up and running without much hassle. And the last throw-in and freebie was Shenmue, and I'm not totally certain if all the discs for this don't work, but he said this one didn't work, so I'm gonna have to test it out. But I already have it in my collection, so if I can get it working, this is going to be trade fodder and you know, that kind of thing. But the disc kind of looks a little beat up, I think. It's hard to tell, but you can see there's like swirls and stuff on it, so hopefully that's just the nature of the problem, and I'll be able to fix that up, because it does come with the manual and everything, and all the discs are there. So that's really sweet. Let me just see what the other discs look like. I'm not going to check them all out, but they're sort of equally scratched, I think, for the most part. So all the discs are there though, so really awesome throw in as well. So those are the sort of things that didn't work. I wasn't really expecting those, so really nice though to even get the artwork and things like that for some of those, like especially Shenmue and stuff like that, for free. So really wicked. I gotta figure out where I want to get started here. I'll probably start on the PlayStation 1 things that I picked up from them. So just to recap, I don't know if I mentioned this before, for all the things that you're about to see here, I paid $400, and I think, and that's Canadian, by the way, so you can do the math on that, but I think it was a pretty killer deal. So I'll get started though. Jeopardy 2nd edition for PlayStation 1, not really interested in that title, so I'll probably won't even bother to add this one into the collection. I might do some pruning actually on my PS1 collection, just because there's some titles in there I'll probably never play, so I'm probably going to be pruning it, and that's something that'll go with it. This is a game I already have in my collection, but if memory serves me correctly, my copy has like some messed up artwork or something in it. I'll have to go double check it, but this one's in pretty good shape, and it's You Don't Know Jack Mach 2. And that one there is totally complete. The disc on this one's pretty nice, and I love these You Don't Know Jack games. They're tons of fun. So if you haven't checked these out, or I know they put them out for like the 360 and stuff like that, but I really liked the PC version of it, and I really like the PlayStation 1 version for some reason, kind of better than the newer versions of it, and I don't really know why, but I think it was just like the sense of humor and it was a little bit different or something, but that's that. Like I said though, a lot of these things I think came from Blockbuster because they have Blockbuster stickers on them, but this one here is Big Air. Don't really know a whole lot about that title. Obviously it's probably going to be like a snowboarding game or something like that. Moving on, Road Rash Jailbreak for the PlayStation 1. This is something I didn't have in my collection. Again, the Blockbuster sticker curse, and I'm not really going to attempt, I think, to get these Blockbuster stickers off, because I have tried it in the past, and unfortunately I've damaged a couple of discs trying to get it off there, and I was being pretty gentle following advice online, and didn't really work out for me, so I'm going to try to basically avoid it. The disc is not in the world's greatest shape, but he did say that it did play, so worst comes to worst, I can just resurface it too, but otherwise the artwork's in pretty good shape, and you know, I'll be able to upgrade something like that later. The next one here is Bust-A-Move 99, which will need to be recased just because it doesn't have the original insert in there, or whatever you call it, on the inside that holds the CD. I'm not really sure what it's called, but you can see it's got like this black one here, which obviously needs to be clear. But Bust-A-Move 99, love Bust-A-Move games. Again, the Blockbuster sticker on there, and the disc not in the world's greatest shape again, but again, that's what the resurfacers for, and I can't recall totally if I have this game in my collection already. Somebody has messed with the artwork for some reason. I can't understand why people would do something like that, but they've actually ripped off the side art part of it. I don't know why somebody messes with things like that, but that's what it is, and still a cool title. Really love these puzzle games, that's for sure. Something I'm pretty pleased to add in here is Bomberman Party Edition for the PlayStation 1. Super cool. This one here needs some cleaning too. There's still some like sticker residue on the front of it. It's in better shape than the other ones, but still a little bit marked up. But again, not a big deal because I have the means to fix that. So that's pretty cool right there. Nice addition, that's for sure. Moving on, Mega Man X4. Loose disc, obviously, and Blockbuster stickered, but still something I was looking forward to adding into the collection. Also, missing its artwork and everything like that, Mega Man X5. So that's pretty cool right there. Hopefully, with my luck, I'll come across some empty cases in the Goodwills for these. But, you know, there you go right there. Again, not in the world's greatest shape. Obviously, these were all former rentals and stuff like that, so you have to take that into consideration when you're, you know, looking at them. But he said they all worked, and I have no reason not to believe that, so pretty happy with that. And then Mega Man 8 Anniversary Edition, like obviously this guy's got pretty good taste in games. This one here is not Blockbuster stickered, and it's actually mint, which is really nice. Just because some of the things here, obviously from being rentals, were a little bit beat up, but this is pretty cool right here. I'm looking forward to checking that out, that's for sure. And then finally, and there's a few things that are a little bit wrong with this, but still pretty cool, Castlevania Symphony of the Night obviously needs to be recased, and Blockbuster did its Blockbuster thing on it, and they actually gutted the manual out of it, which is really unfortunate, so it's just the front artwork for it. But my other copy that I have, of this game is loose discs, so this is working my way sort of toward a complete version of this. An amazing title, obviously a must-have. Has the Blockbuster sticker curse on it, and you know, a little bit scuffed up too, just because it was a rental, but still Great title, and you know, hopefully I'll be able to, you know, I'll use the one I have, which is absolutely mint, and you know, be able to use at least the artwork from this one and so on and so forth, and start to piece together a Castlevania one. Still looking for the proper manual for that, obviously, because that's just the sleeve for it. Trying to figure out what to move on to here next. I think I'll go into the Dreamcast stuff that I got from him as well. This starts off, you know, there's a few titles in here that start off a little bit weak, but it's okay. I don't know a whole lot about this one though, Hydro Thunder. It's loose disc, and I'm not going to sit here going through all the conditions, I think, just because it might be kind of rough, but that one's in, you know, pretty decent shape, even though it's in loose disc, and again, you know, I have to recase all this stuff, so it's kind of seeming that way, but that's alright. Moving on, ESPN International Track and Field. It's in there, but it's missing the back art, and it's missing the cover, which it's either, seems like it's either or here. You either get the front cover or you get the booklet inside, but you never get the two of them. This one here is, let's see here, Tokyo Extreme Racer, and again, it's missing its artwork. But the disc's in there, so that's pretty sweet. Also, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, which I think I already have in my collection, so I'll probably get rid of that. And that one's just completely loose disc, so there's no evidence of even a manual or anything like that with that one. The next one is Tomb Raider The Last Revelation, which I believe I already have so not a big deal. They're just something that I'll end up trading off, basically treating it like a loose disc, because again, it's missing its cover to the artwork, or to the manual, so that's kind of interesting. The next one here is Chef's Love Shack, which I did not have in my collection. Pretty cool, I would say. So a nice addition, unfortunately, again, missing the artwork on the front. And then same thing with the covers yet again, but this one's called Evolution. I don't know anything about Evolution as far as this game goes, so I'll have to check that out. No back art, just basically the disc and then the manual missing its cover, but cool nonetheless. Moving on, this one here is Sonic Shuffle, and obviously the case is all beat up, but that's not a big deal. Again, the artwork issue and Blockbuster or whatever rental stickers all over it, but I'll be able to actually get these ones off. It's not one of those full stickers, so you do have to be gentle, by the way, with even these stickers here, because you can rip off the front of the coating on here, or whatever you like to call the artwork, and damage it, so you really have to heat that up nicely and get that goo gone, working its magic on those, and take it ever so slowly so you don't ruin the artwork on it. But I didn't have Sonic Shuffle before, which I believe is basically just like a Mario Party ripoff kind of idea, only using Sonic related things, so that's pretty cool. The next one here is Max Steel, which I don't know anything about, but it basically looks like a 3D kind of beat 'em up sort of idea, action adventure. That one there is actually one of the ones that's complete, which is pretty sweet. The disc on it, it's pretty good actually. So glad to finally get through the stack and find something that is complete. Moving on, another title that's been blockbusterized is Crazy Taxi, which I already have in my collection. So again, that's just going to be something that'll be up for trade or sale if anyone's interested in that, and it's got the Blockbuster affliction on it as well. But the disc is actually in pretty decent shape compared to the other ones, and amazing title right there, that's for sure. Moving on, something I didn't have in my collection already was Mortal Kombat Gold, which is pretty cool to add this one in. This one here I think is complete, or it might be that artwork kind of scenario. Yeah, it's missing the inside of the booklet, but it does have the front artwork, so I don't know what it was with Blockbuster. They're either missing this or missing that, but it's never complete, which is kind of interesting. That one there is in pretty decent shape though, and like I said, didn't have it in my collection, so just being able to find any Dreamcast games is pretty wild these days. The next one here is GTA 2 with the Blockbuster sticker on it. Again, he said they all played, so I'm not too worried about that aspect of it, and I picked this up on the Ps1 recently, so I'll probably unload that version and keep this version because I'm sure it's a little bit better. And then something I've always been looking for, unfortunately, again, missing artwork and all that kind of stuff, is Street Fighter Third Strike, and Blockbuster sticker and all that on it, but still, at the same time, a wonderful title to pick up. I think this one was available on Xbox 360 for download, but still like something cool to get the original legit one from back in the day. The next one, which is a game I also picked up pretty recently, was Power Stone. So that's pretty awesome. Has the back artwork, no front artwork, and let's see here. But good thing is it has no stickers all over it, which is nice. And the disc is in pretty decent shape, so that's going to be something that I'll end up trading off or flipping or whatever right there. The next one, which has the cover art issue, is Elemental Gimmick Gear for Dreamcast, missing the back art, but you know, basically I'll just treat it as disc only kind of idea. This one here, you know, same sort of condition as the rest, like not perfect, but still something I didn't have, so pretty happy to get my hands on that one. And then this was really something that I was after. Now, when he posted all this stuff and showed me everything, he had everything individually priced, so I did make him an offer on everything, just because I had an understanding that he was basically trying to get rid of some stuff. So with that in mind, I just made an offer on the whole thing. But if that offer didn't really go through, I was going to buy a few titles, because he had this one really reasonably priced. It was Grandia 2 for the Dreamcast, and luckily for me, one of these ones that I was really targeting is complete. It does have the Blockbuster, or not Blockbuster, but this one actually just has a few stickers I should be able to get off of there. I'm hoping I don't trash the thing when I do this, but there it is. It's totally complete, which is really wicked. Even has the music CD and stuff like that in there, so pretty awesome find, I think, right there. They also released this for the PlayStation 2, and it's sort of like up for debate which one's better version, but just love collecting things for Dreamcast. So that huge stack of Dreamcast games was something else as part of this. I have tons more to show you here, but I'm not going to break it up into two parts. So here we go. I'm going to go into the Super Nintendo stuff now. This is a smaller stack here, so this isn't as much stuff, but still some pretty decent items in here, that's for sure. The first one here is NFL Quarterback Club 96. That one's probably going to be something I'll be trading off or selling coming up here. Super Baseball 2020. Don't know anything about it, so I'm going to check it out, but I can imagine that one's going to be going to the swap as well. Stunt Race FX, which I'm going to be using as a label upgrade, because mine has a little rip in it. This is an upgrade for me. It's in really excellent condition. All these Super Nintendo ones were actually in great shape. Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures. I heard that this is sort of like the, what we call the black sheep or whatever of the Pac-Man family kind of thing, but in and of its own, I actually checked out a review and people were saying it's actually a pretty decent game. It's just because it's not what you expect from a Pac-Man game that people were kind of turned off by it, so I'm going to add that into the collection. This is kind of interesting. I was checking out different videos on this one. This is a basketball game called Rap Jam Volume 1, and I don't think there was ever a Volume 2 or Volume 3, because this doesn't really stand the test of time, but still cool nonetheless. And in it, you actually play as like different rap people from the 90s and stuff like that. So I think like LL Cool J's in there, like Queen Latifah and stuff like that. They're all like players that you can play on the court with. So I'll probably just keep that just for that kind of aspect to it. But moving on, there's Super Conflict, which is a strategy type of game. I don't know a whole lot about this one, so I'll have to check it out. The artwork on it's got like probably the biggest cheeseball soldier I've ever seen in my life on the front of it, though. I don't know what they were thinking when they selected that, but still cool nonetheless, and like the other ones, are in really great shape. You know, the ever-present and always going to be with any bundle, Super Mario World, so that one's going to go to the swap, and that'll be something to recoup some cash from this. Same with Mortal Kombat 2. I don't know if mine's in this good a condition though, so I'll have to check that out, but again, solid title to pick up, that's for sure. And then finally, Donkey Kong Country, which again, I think that mine's probably in better shape than this one. This one's in pretty decent shape, just a little bit of wear along the top there, but for the most part in pretty good shape. And he said all these things worked, so you know, a lot of that stuff I'll end up swapping and try to recoup some of my 400 that I put into this stuff. I don't think that's going to really cover it, but still cool nonetheless. And it just keeps going. I'm going to move on finally to the NES, which I think is the section that I'm the most pleased with of the things that I got. So I'll get started. Some of the less, I guess, desirable titles here would be Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventure, and just for the artwork alone, it's worth adding to the collection. I need to glue the top of that down, but I know how to do that, that's no problem. So that's pretty cool right there. Next one's something I already have in my collection, so again, just trade fodder or whatnot, is Friday the 13th. Next one's Blades of Steel. These are all things that I already have in my collection. Moving on, one of my personal favorites, and not everybody's favorite Mario game. Speaking of Black Sheep or whatever, that's this guy right here, Super Mario Bros. 2. But actually one of my favorite Super Mario Bros. Games. In excellent shape. Same with this one here. Excellent shape, Super Mario Bros. 3. So that's pretty awesome. Ghostbusters 2. Don't really know about this one. I've heard that the Ghostbusters games in the US/Canada region, North American region, were kind of awful, and the best one's actually I think it's either a European or Japanese version of Ghostbusters, and that one's actually supposed to be pretty decent. This is something I'd never heard of before, so I had to check out a few videos on it. It's not sort of touted as a really awesome game or anything like that, but still a cool addition to the collection, and it's Athena. So I don't know if you guys have played that before. Let me know what you think. What I saw, it kind of got sort of shady reviews. So that's that. And then Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Moving on, this is where I think it gets, well, actually I got a few more titles here that, you know, are just like basically some fodder, not in really good shape. Probably never be able to trade this off. Super Mario Bros. The labels are really beat up. Even worse is Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt, really beat up labels, but we'll see shortly that if you're gonna have beat up labels, it might as well be those titles. Mario Bros. Duck Hunt with a nice label. Anticipation. And what's this one? The Major League Baseball, which I already have in my collection, so I won't be keeping that. Also pretty cool is Baseball, the black box version, and Top Player Tennis, which I already have in my collection. Bases Loaded, which I already have in my collection. And then Wall Street Kid, which I already have in my collection. So again, those are just going to come to this show with me. I basically traded off recently, like I mentioned, the person locally that I've been doing trades with, Marco. I traded off all my NES doubles that I had to him, so I've got a few back that I can bring to the show and whatnot. It's always nice to have a few titles, that's for sure, for NES, just because they're pretty desirable these days as far as collecting goes. Moving on though, this is where it gets, I think, even more interesting. A game which I think this is probably a label upgrade for the one I have, Blaster Master. Awesome title right there to get. Also picked up a copy of Super C, which I have a couple of copies of this. I think already have sort of come and gone through my hands recently. But again, a quality title. The Legend of Zelda, obviously a great title to pick up, always sought after. And Zelda 2, a little bit scratched up and stuff like that, but it's sort of hard to find these gold carts in good condition these days. Moving on, this is going to be an upgrade for the one that I have in my collection, is Battletoads. So really wicked right there. A copy which I'm trying to decide which one I want to hold on to, because I do have the yellow version of it. The later version of it is Metroid, so I'm wondering if I'm going to hold on to this one or hold on to both or what. I don't really need two copies of the same game though. And the next one here is Gunsmoke, which I don't know a whole lot about, but still a cool addition to the collection. This is awesome. The copy I found of this is actually a little bit faded and stuff like that, so this is a definite upgrade for the one I have, and I'm super happy to get this, you know, like crisp, clean version of it, and that's Mega Man 2. So really wicked right there. Another kind of sought after game, climbing in price too recently, is Power Blade. And the label's in pretty good shape, but it does need to be re-glued right there, but otherwise in really great shape. And this is a pretty fun game, actually. It's like a Mega Man sort of clone, but you can shoot in all directions, and it's just super cool. Check out some gameplay of that if you haven't. And then finally, this is the last NES game that was in that lot, and that is Bandit Kings of Ancient China. And this is sort of a very rare kind of game. This is something I've never really seen before a whole lot. I had to actually look up what this is all about. It's basically one of those strategy kind of games. Sort of looks like, might be in the same vein of like Romance of the Three Kingdoms kind of idea. Don't really know if that's the truth though. I'll have to check it out a little bit further, but still a cool find, definitely a valuable game, that's for sure. And moving on, there was a couple of systems as well, but also one accessory which is really cool. It's a box Zapper, really neat, and unfortunately, well, I'll open this up Unfortunately, the styrofoam inside's a little bit beat up and chewed up, but it does come with the manual and everything. I'm not going to pull everything out there, but you see it's like kind of chewed up in the corner or whatever, but it's still in there, and you never really look at the styrofoam. And obviously, you know, I already have zappers and stuff like that, so I'll just clean up this box and that will go on display. It's not in the world's greatest shape. It does have the usual like wear and stuff on it, but considering, like I said, the age of these things, it's in pretty good shape. And then also for NES, this came with it, which is a boxed control deck in pretty decent shape. The styrofoam and everything like that on the inside is pretty good shape. I don't really want to start digging into this right now. The system, he said, has the blinking issue, but that's just a 72 pin connector issue, which I can easily fix. And I think there's only one controller in here, but I have a couple extra controllers, so I'll just like clean things up, piece it together, and voila, I'll have a boxed control deck, which I already have the other one, the action set or whatever, but this one's going to be pretty cool, I think, sitting next to that. So that's not everything. There's one final item which I need to show you, and I know this is getting a little bit long here, like 25 minutes so far, but this can't wait. So I'll show you this as well. I just picked up in my recent video a Blockbuster video rental case for a PS2. This is a Blockbuster rental case for a Sega Dreamcast. So this was also part of it. In it came, just don't want to knock anything over here. It's hard for me to kind of get this to show you everything, but there you go, right there. You can see like it's got like the cone shapes or whatever for added support and whatnot, and to make sure things don't get crushed or whatever. Came with two third-party controllers, which I don't really have much use for. I have the legitimate ones, but I actually have ones that will go in here that are, you know, the real ones. I actually have a couple of spares lying around, so really cool. I'll be able to fill this with those. And then also came with the system, which works. There you go, and looks pretty clean and everything like that. I mean, obviously this is the system he used, and he took pretty good care of his stuff. Unfortunately, and I never even knew it came like this, I always thought that it came with a wireless, or not wireless, internet adapter. I know there's a high-speed version of one, and then there's the regular one or whatever, and this one didn't come with it. It was just a placeholder or whatever you like to call it, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Not like it's a big deal. It's not like I'll be going online with this anytime soon. And then power cable and a RF unit, which I will obviously never use. So that was everything. I mean, just a huge haul. Like I said, it was $400 for the whole lot. I think it was well worth the investment. I'll probably be able to easily get my cash back for that. I almost forgot one item here, which is kind of interesting just because there's so much stuff. It's a Sega Dreamcast visual memory unit, complete in box as well. It's a smoke gray one. So that's pretty cool right there. It's in here. I'm not gonna bother pulling that out right now because I'm sure you're running short on patience. But that's something basically that I say would probably be my biggest find of all time. I think well worth the investment that I put into it, and something that I'm going to be able to basically recoup my money and add a few things to my collection. So thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I will see you all later.